Okay, I'll grab a shower.
We need to talk about this first. I'm glad you're safe. Now tell me what happened and why you lied to me.
Because I knew exactly how you'd react if you knew I was helping Remy.
So this is my fault?
No, it's mine. I spent all night thinking about how worried you'd be. I'm so sorry.
Zig, why did you lie to me?
I just wanted to do a nice thing for Theo and the band, so I struck a deal with Remy.
A deal for what?
I find them the van. He stops stirring you up. Trust me, I have had plenty of time to think about all the ways that was a dumb decision.
You seriously think that I can't handle that guy on my own?
Without hitting him? I don't know, Dean. I haven't seen that today.
We said that we'd be honest with each other about everything, even the small stuff.
I know. I won't lose sight of that again. How can I make this up to you?
Just don't scare me like that again.
I won't.
I know what this means.
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. Hello everybody, welcome back to Coastal News, a home and away podcast. We assign Sophie, your podcast host. How are you doing, Sophie? Okay?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Plodding, plowing. We've both got a week off, haven't we, coming up?
Yes. Woo.
And both going on our jollies.
Yeah.
So we've got the Friday. Well, I've got the Friday spirit. I don't know about you.
Oh, I so have. I thought it's Friday every day this week, I think. Wishful thinking.
The week felt like a month to me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and it's been a
Fridays.
bank holiday as well. I don't understand what's happened this week. It feels like a really quick, long week.
Was that this week or was that the week before?
That was this week. Can you believe it?
God.
I know. We've only done 4 days at work. It's mad.
And it's strange though how when you've got time off coming up, it's just time just halts.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's because you're just willing it to happen, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Bit of psychology. How have you found the Bay this week?
It's been a bit up and down for me. I don't know about you. I think I've been distracted as well. So some of it hasn't made a lot of sense, like the Rose and Cash stuff. I'm probably going to have to ask you what on earth is going on because it completely confused me this week. But how about you?
You'll be on your own. Good. You navigated through the bank holiday scheduling drama then?
Just about. Do you know what I realised, and probably should apologise to listeners? I think when I was trying to explain it last Friday, I got it wrong anyway. So I think I might have said something about the Friday and I meant the Monday. Oh, I don't know, but I was confused. But hopefully, everybody managed to catch up on. The whole point of it was to tell you to catch up on My Five. So hopefully, you guys got that message.
If you missed it, you know who to blame.
Yeah, it's me. I'm sorry. I listened to it back again and I was like, oh, I've said that wrong. I was talking about Monday and I said the word Friday and I don't know why I said that, but there we go.
Because even you are confused.
I know. It is confusing. Channel 5, hello.
What you're doing to us.
I know.
Yeah. Seeing lots of comments about Channel 5 and its treatment of soaps lately.
There's a lot of people panicking as well because obviously, well, the few reasons, isn't it, that they're messing around with the schedules and they're not telling us they're messing around with the schedules. And also, somebody tweeted, and I can't remember who it was, but it made me laugh. And they said, "Oh, should we be worried about home and away because the competition used to give us, a 2-week break in Sydney, and now they're giving us a 2-night break in Norfolk." And I thought that's a good point, actually. That competition, the prize has come down, hasn't it?
It is a bit of a come down. Is that the tweet? I think I saw it, and they were like, "I'm expecting an Alan Partridge crossover or something." Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one. Oh, that'd be funny. I can just see him lying in his bed with his dictaphone. I've got an idea for a TV show. Oh, that's so funny.
Very good point. The competition's got a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a lot cheaper. I mean, I'm sure Barnum Broom or whatever it is in Norfolk is lovely and expensive to stay there, but it's not 2 weeks in Sydney, is it?
No. Is it worth going that deep?
£8 deep? No, not really. Just buy a night there out of the competition, mate.
Oh,
Can't
well,
be that expensive.
that's like the money I've spent on them things over the years.
You could afford a week at Barnum Broom, I think. Oh, dear.
Well, we've got a bit
Right.
of work to do before we get on to your favourite part of the episode, the headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you haven't heard, you haven't seen, haven't experienced the announcement that we made on Sunday evening, just gone.
Oh yes.
We are. What are we doing? Do you want to tell the listeners?
We are bringing back the annual awards, aren't we? So it's the second annual awards because this is our second series of the podcast. So we're bringing back the awards for you guys, the listeners, to vote on. And there's loads of different categories that you can choose from, such as best male character, best female character, best couple, best exit, best storyline of 2022. So you get to vote on all these categories until the end of, is it end of October that we're doing this, or end of September?
Yeah, and until further notice.
Oh, okay. We haven't decided when it's going to shut yet, but at some point in the future this form will shut, so get on that form quickly. It's our tweets, so at Coastal News Pod on Twitter. If you go and have a look, you'll see a link to the survey and you can go and vote on there. But we're going to be announcing the winners, aren't we, in a special one-off show?
Yeah, we
in
are.
the future sometime whenever we're recording.
In a glitzy, booze-filled ceremony, I would say.
Yeah, and you're wearing Gucci. I'm wearing Primark.
You're holding me to that.
I am.
I think I might have a belt. You want me to wear something else with it?
Just about fine.
We'll have to have a think.
Oh dear, what you like?
Right then, that's God. Better whack the old Never Never out. To put that on the Never Never. Get down to Gucci.
Oh dear.
Right. Do you want your headlines?
I do.
Thank you for that, because we're very excited about the awards. It's a good way for us to reminisce about the year that was. So
yeah, definitely.
Right. News of the Paratas' involvement in the bikie sting hits the front page.
Uh-oh, Coastal News.
Leading to Nico facing his job loss. Jean frantically looks for clues to Ziggy's whereabouts before discovering her at the shed with Remy. Cash is taken off life support, but he's struggling to come to terms with what's happened. And Justin comes to Lyric's rescue, putting them back on the road. If we've got time, we'll talk about Rue's mature student.
Oh, yeah.
She won't be wearing the uniform, put it that way.
No. I doubt it.
So Rose, she'd been to court, hadn't she, when we caught up with her earlier in the week?
Yes.
And Tex had been refused bail. He's been held on remand, as he should be. Naughty boy. And Rose, to me, I don't know how you sort of felt at what we were supposed to feel at this point, but I felt Rose was a bit confused about how she felt about it.
Yeah,
what did you think?
I think she's been confused the entire week, hasn't she? And to be honest, so have I. I've been confused. I've been really confused over the whole storyline this week. I knew where we were going with this last week, and this week I feel like I don't know what's going on. Is that just me?
No, normally these things are sort of really, really spelled out to us, aren't they? Like Rose feels like this, and this is why she's acting like this, and spoon feed me what and it's been a little bit more nuanced, I think. This time, I think at this point, where Tex has gone to prison. She's now got to prep herself to try and save Tane and Nico from the same fate, really,
Yes.
the next day, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And I just felt like she's got this in. You could just see it in her. She didn't say it. She didn't open up about it, but you could see it in her mind that she was thinking, you know, I actually, you know, I blame myself.
Yeah.
I got involved with Tex, and it's my stupid fault. I feel all the guilt associated with Cash, who's at this moment in time in
Yeah.
hospital, you know, facing death at this point, you know,
Yeah.
still. And then the other side of it is like, you know, she did sort of feel something for Tex.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah, I think you're right. And she definitely said about how guilty she feels about how, you know, Cash wasn't in the appropriate uniform, was he? He wasn't wearing a vest. He shouldn't have been chasing after Marty, and he shouldn't even have been there. It was her sting operation. So I think she feels all that guilt. And yeah, we still don't know really how she feels about him, do we? Because she's distracted herself with texts to try and take her mind off the fact that she liked Cash, but those feelings have probably not gone away, have they?
No, and you just hit the nail on the head. It was her operation, but was it reasons? Is probably the sort of ethical dilemma, isn't it? That you know, just found out that he was a bike. He'd lied to her. She was suspicious of him. Was it a personal reason she ordered the operation?
Oh yeah,
without early, you know. So she's carrying that guilt, and so she should.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not going to pussyfoot around it. I feel for the girl, but actually, you know, you should carry a bit of that guilt. You know, you're not to control what happened. You know,
no.
But actually, I sort of saw why Flick was lashing out at her the week before. You know, in this. She does open up a bit to Xander, though, doesn't she? Over a salad.
She does. Yeah, yeah, she does.
Talking a salad, and he loves it. He's had the tea spilt. You know, he's like, I can't get over it, can you? The next day, you know, she's all about what's going on.
Yeah,
it's too late. It's already been splashed all over. Coastal News. They're all over it. They've had the tip off, haven't they? The old Coastal.
Well, they got brilliant photos for the front page. I don't know how they managed that. It's like they were looking over the fence of the garage, wasn't it?
It did. Action shot.
Roving reporters. Yeah.
Well, that's how good the journalism here at Coastal News.
Of course, yeah. They should get promotion for that, I reckon.
Well, the whole town's learning, aren't they, throughout the day as they pick up a paper. Perfect device. That's why we love a newspaper. It's a perfect device to get the whole town involved in what's gone on, get the community hysteria whipped right up, you know. And they're all, you know, all reading it like the local rags, like, you know, learning all about this bail hearing that he was so adamant that she needs to go right because she needs to control something about this moment. She needs to put something right, you know. And she does. She's successful. Nick and Tanya get bail, don't they? So it's not over. And while all this is happening, unfortunately for Nick, there's been a meeting called at the Surf Club by the committee, and they've seen
Gerald. Gerald's not happy.
He's never happy, is he, Gerald?
The elusive Gerald is never pleased by the sound of things.
And he believes everything he reads.
Yeah.
You know?
Trust the journalism of the Coastal News.
Yep, believes it all, and there's a vote, and they want Nico out despite his bravery award, as John said.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you feel about this? I did feel a bit for Nick. I thought, you know, he don't deserve this, even, you know, there was a bit. Uncle, what are you doing in the shed with Marty?
I'll be honest, my sympathy was limited.
Go on.
My sympathy was limited only because he had a go at Tane, didn't he, at one point? Because he was like, "Oh yeah, you've done a really good job of protecting me. You know, if you told me what was going to happen, I wouldn't have followed you to the garage." And I thought, "Yeah, you would. There's absolutely no way if Tane had said to him, "Oh, I'm going to put a wire on and do a police operation, and you know, a sting with the police to capture the bikies on tape saying that they're, putting money through the gym and all this sort of stuff. There's no way Nico would have let Tane go to that garage on his own. He would have insisted on going with him.
Yeah.
I can't see him ever going, oh, okay, good luck, Uncle, I'm off to go lifeguarding. Because Nick's like a little dog with a bone with stuff like this, isn't he?
Mm. He was insisting on being in the loop, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You're right. He was kicking off about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I just didn't think he deserved to lose his job because he isn't actually a criminal mastermind, far
No.
from.
Yeah, but I kind of thought that would all come out in the wash eventually anyway. So I was just thinking, just sit tight, Nico, and this will all wash over. But obviously he's got such a hot head that when stuff goes wrong, he just loses the plot, doesn't he? I mean, we've seen it before. He's got a very short fuse. When things don't go his way immediately, he throws in the towel, doesn't he? We saw that when he was learning to be a lifeguard. He didn't pick it up straight away, so he was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this anymore." He's got such a short temper with loads of things, and he just needs to learn to chill. And sometimes you just have to let things run their course and hope that it turns out for the best. Because if you haven't done something wrong, eventually that will be, found out. Or
Yeah, very wise words. Very wise words.
And he gets on my nerves. Listen here, Nick. Listen to Auntie Sophie. She's been around.
All that stuff you just said and come out as, why you fucking necking?
Just shut up, Nick. That's what I shout at the TV like every day. Shut up, Nick.
Well, many others share your thoughts, don't they, online? Noticed discussion on the internet. So many others share your sentiments when it comes to him. I'm gonna say, you talked about it all coming out in the wash. Well, Tane proves time and time again. We've said this on a number of occasions now that I can think of off the top of my head. And Tane has come good as protector of the family, and he goes to speak to John, doesn't he? Tries to say, tries to sort some out. Is there anything that can be done?
Yeah.
And John says, no, I'm no greater champion than that than me. And I thought, yeah, John, you're his busy mate now. You've got him to this place in his career, if you like.
Yeah.
Like, you took him from like that to this. It's all because of John, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And I thought that was a lovely scene actually, where he sort of says, and a lovely thing to say to Tane, about all people. I would help him, but he sort of says, nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. And later on, Tane goes back to him and explains, look, it's nothing to do with Nico. It was me. It was me that was there. Yeah, he came looking for me. If anything happened, it should be me.
Yeah.
And just like that, Gerald's believed what he's heard. And Nick's fine. He's back now. But what does that mean for Tane in the gym now?
Yeah, I know. And he's done all this to save the gym, and now he's jeopardizing even staying there, isn't he? It looks like they're going to have to move him out of the building, I think. Is that the plan?
Is that the end of the gym, do we think?
He'll still own the business as a thing, won't he? Just won't have the premises anymore.
Yeah, so what we can't have a gym with no premises, can you?
Well, he'll have to rent somewhere else, but whether they'll take him on if he ends up with a criminal record is, I guess, remains to be seen, doesn't it?
I wonder if he might be forced to sell the business anyway.
Yeah.
To pay for whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of.
Even if he's, that's assuming he's allowed to keep it. I mean, have we heard anything about whether the cops know that the business was bought with dodgy money? I don't think we have.
No, and I don't know if it's widespread, that part of it.
No.
We know that. Do you remember that when Rose went to Tane and said, "I know that Tex is a bikie, but this I need you to tell me everything," or there's something. I don't know how you're involved.
Yeah, she said, I can't piece together why you are, dealing with him. What's he got over you?
Yeah, and then the scene cut. We never saw the rest of the conversation. We don't know how much he's told her.
No.
Or whether, for helping the police, a deal might be struck.
Possibly, yeah.
Don't know, do we? We don't know
Don't
how
know.
much. How
No.
much? What's the word? Poetic license they're allowed to use when it comes to the law. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know,
Deals. Yeah.
it's a bend too far.
So I guess
Because
the original crime isn't Tane's crime, is it? It's his brother and his sister-in-law's crime. They're the ones that got the money. But then I don't
he's
know.
implicated in it, though, isn't he? So
Yeah. I don't know.
it's a sticky law area.
Mm,
Somehow, I think the two outcomes are the gym is taken off him, is seized off him,
yeah.
and then sold on by the courts, I'm assuming,
Mm,
or closed down by the courts, and then a new buyer comes along or whatever.
yeah.
And then, or some sort of deal is struck for aiding the police. I don't know whether that is plausible
Do you think
solution.
it comes down to, I think, where the money was stolen from? And I'm still not sure about this. I'm still not sure because when I've been trying to listen, because I know you told me it was a bank robbery, and I've been trying to listen out whenever they talk about the robbery. I'm trying to listen for what it is, where it happened, what the robbery was, and all they're saying is armed robbery, and they're saying that he stole it from the bikies. I can't work out where the bikies got that money from, what their involvement is, if it is a bank job. How did this come about? I can't work it out. So if Ari just stole the money off these bikies and it was just money that they'd stolen off someone else, would the police even, that's, I'm not saying they'd let them get away with it, but they could strike a deal with Tane, couldn't they, and say, help us take down the bikies, we'll look the other way with the money, because really the money you've stolen off them, so we're not going to give it back to them. I don't know. I can't work it out, but we haven't been told it outright, so it's like we've got to sweep it under the carpet for some reason.
So all I'm hearing though there is you don't believe me about the bank robbery.
No, I do. I'm waiting for someone to explain how they. I don't understand how the bikies think it's their money and Ari stole it off them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Unless they were in it together and they've taken it and not
Yeah,
split something. But it doesn't explain. There's a few things unexplained, isn't there? If that is
yeah,
the case, like why haven't they come for it sooner? Like,
yeah.
I'm online here, trying to.
You're googling it. I just can't work it out. So, like you say, was it the bikies and Ari? Did they gang up and do the bank job together? Did the
Yeah,
bikies do the bank job and then Ari stole it off them afterwards? I don't know. I can't work it
no,
out.
because the brother got killed, didn't he? At the
Yeah,
armory, so they must have been there.
yeah. But
It doesn't.
was that
What is
stealing it
the
from the
link?
bikies? Not
Yeah,
stealing
what
it
is the
from.
link between the bikies and the Paratas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I can't work
yeah,
out. Unless
yeah.
we've been told and I've missed it.
No, because it's long would have seen the answer somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, we're that involved in it all online and whatnot. We'd have seen the answer to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I just can't
If
work
it's
that bit
obvious.
out. I can't work it out. I think someone needs to explain it to us in words that we understand.
Someone please come forward and explain that, please. help a,
Please.
help a podcast out.
Yeah. Or if one of the writers wants to explain it on Twitter, like I cannot understand how Ari stole the money off the bikies. That makes no sense to me.
Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from. Right, well, Ziggy and Remy, if you remember, they're stuck in a shed having an argument because of this, scam van
Carl.
gone wrong. Carl, yes, Carl. He's made off with Ziggy's car, which was not mentioned afterwards again.
I
So we'll
know,
have
is it? And all the mobile phones. Has he just kept them all? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, the phones, the car, that they've gone. They're stuck in a shed. They're talking about like, you know, space because he does this weird try to hug her, which made me shiver.
Like,
Because it just felt dead weird and creepy. Because you know, I think Remy's a bit of a
you think it's a
flesh.
creep? Yeah.
Yeah. And then best line of the week: I'd rather take my chance with a snake over here. You stay on your half, me and the snake. I'll wrestle this snake over here.
Oh.
You know, Remy's the antagonist, isn't he? You know, he's winding her up. She doesn't want to be there with him. There's something unsaid between them that's really uncomfortable. And you know, when you're just thinking, I just can't watch any more of this.
Mm.
And then back in the bay, Dean and Mac are like going through search history, finding out who she's spoken to, ringing up everybody she's inquired about. And you know, he's even gone over to, you know, the Braxton house, because I can't think of it to be called anything else just yet.
Oh.
Lyric's house.
Yep.
It's home, so the panic stations are setting in. And then eventually, without all the leads lost, eventually they think, oh, I'm going to check her emails. So in her emails, they find this location and where they are. So they race up there, open the door, and he saves them. And then there's nothing more said, like we say, about the cars or the phones or anything like that. They get them
No.
back to the bay, and she's like, you know, I'm really sorry. You know, and he's like, why'd you lie to me? You know, we said we would be honest with each other.
Yeah.
Have we got cracks again in Diggy? Like, are we going there again, Sophie? Like, what's she feeling on this?
It felt like it, didn't it? But I don't think we've been back there since, have we? So I don't know what's happening with them. But the last time we saw them, obviously he'd punched Remy in the face and driven them home in probably what I'd call a very awkward car ride, very silent car ride back to the bay.
It was 2 hours drive. Not 2 hours.
Yeah. So I don't. Apart from the little scene in their house afterwards where they had that chat about you need to tell me the truth and don't do this again, we haven't really seen them again, have we?
No, we haven't. We'll probably join them, won't we, next week?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, I was watching these scenes, and Dean was sort of saying, you know, we said we'd always be honest.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, happy thingy again, and his jealousy he's quite a secure man normally, but in this particular circumstance, you can tell he's just got a bad feeling about Remy.
Yeah.
You know, he's struck a nerve. There's something about him he doesn't like, and I think Dean's intuition are right. You know, I think he's seen something in Remy that he might have seen in himself, you know, a lifetime ago.
Ooh.
You know, Jack the lad. You know, womanizer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cocksure of himself. You know, he's in a band. You know, look at me.
Yeah.
And he thinks, you know, probably used to getting everything he wants, really, when it comes to love life.
I don't know if I call it love, because I don't think he's the love type. I think he's the love him and leave him type, isn't he? So,
Yeah. So I think Dean smells a rat, you know.
Yeah.
And I think he's backing off a bit because Dean would hit the roof, and you know, I mean, I know he right upped him, but like he would make a right song and dance about it with Ziggy, but he sort of didn't.
Yeah.
He sort of made her aware that he felt let down about her lying to him, but then sort of said, right, let's crack on.
I don't think it's that he distrusts her, though, does it? I don't think he's angry with Ziggy because he thinks Ziggy's going to cheat on him. I think he is just very suspicious of Remy and therefore protective of Ziggy. I don't think that he feels insecure in that he thinks that Ziggy's going to run off with this guy. I get that impression.
Yeah, it even says that actually to Mac, doesn't he? You know, it's not, don't trust. It's Mac Plonker.
Yeah.
And this is sort of my theory. You sort of go back to a relationship and it's not like the same again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we were saying Diggy 2.0 is not the same when they first got back together earlier in the year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They got back together behind Tane's back. So I wonder whether before that, you know, 100% trust, you think, knows Ziggy inside and out. Da, 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 da. They went through all that crap time of being apart and all the drama that came with it.
Yeah.
Is it like it's one of those things, isn't it? There's already water under the bridge now. Like, you can't go back. And has all that affected without his unconscious, his subconscious trust? You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
He might trust her, but actually his actions probably tell us part of him doesn't. She did it with him, and she got back with him, and she's capable of it. Which you
Yeah.
never knew before. Is I suppose what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
And it just makes me a bit nervous because I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want drama here again. I've seen enough of it.
No, I really don't. I don't like it when Ziggy and Dean aren't getting on. I find it kind of boring, to be honest.
Yeah, same. And then it'll drag Mac into it, and
Yeah. Yeah. At least we haven't got Bella anymore going, oh, as well in the same house, because that would have just tipped me over the edge. But
oh dear. Yeah, let's see what happens next week. Let's see if they discuss where the car is, or
yeah.
let's see if Dean can move past this.
Yes. Yeah.
This lying and sneaking off with Remy to go and buy a van. Let's see if he actually can just move on. I'm not sure he will.
Can you imagine if it was the other way around? Ziggy would actually kill him.
I know. I know. She's expecting a lot of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
And she, to be fair to the girl, she put her hands up. She said, I'm sorry I put you through that. I did it because you would react. Okay, it's my fault.
Yeah, that's not an apology, is it?
No.
I did it because you. That's not an apology. That's like when people say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. It's like, no, that's not a real sorry. You say, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I'm sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry. You don't say, I'm sorry that you feel like that. That's just horrible.
Yeah.
It's not a proper apology, is it?
No. So I'm seeing a crack here, and I think it's getting. So Flick, she's on the beach, she's breathing heavily. She's looking at the sea.
That made me feel a bit weird, that scene.
Why?
I don't know. It was just like, it's not unusual. I don't know whether it was the camera or the sound. It wasn't normal for Home and Away, and it just made me kind of feel like I was having a panic attack myself. It was a bit odd.
There was a sort of a weird fisheye. They've done it a couple of times this week, actually.
They did it with Cash with the drunk effect as well. That made me feel a bit strange.
Yeah, with Cash trying to get out of bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of, Flicks, she's a big overwhelmed is probably what this camera trick is trying to show us. Yeah. And she's gone to the beach for solace. I did love that Eden approached her and just gives her a big hug.
Yeah.
Really starting to love Eden, actually.
I like her, yeah.
She's a really compassionate character. And I think she's got a lot to give other people, other characters around, other characters that I like. Yes. I think she's got a lot to give them. So I really liked this moment where she sort of reaches out to her and offers her, and of course she's got linked to Cash, so she's worried herself, but she's still offering, support to Flick when she needs it the most.
Yes.
And and Flick says, it's been days now. Is Cash going to wake up? And Eden just offers that sort of reassuring, I know him. He's a tough man. He'll be all right. He'll pull through.
Yeah.
Something that she needed to wear in that moment. So I really liked that.
Yeah, me too.
Just then, Flick gets the call. They're waking him up. So just drag us out.
Gosh.
And he's doing remarkably well.
Yeah.
He's having full-on convos straight off the machine. Bright as Larry.
Oh dear.
Just Jenny Aniston, that one.
Yeah.
And,
but he did ask where Jasmine was, didn't he? Did she come back? No, she did not.
Absolutely fuming at this.
How dare she?
It's now it's now gone into character assassination mode now. There is no way Jasmine's not like that.
I know. I don't get
She
it.
he got shot. She'd have legged it there.
Yeah, definitely. She'd be full nurse mode, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
given, what went down with Robbo and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I just can't do this.
No.
I'm not saying I have all the answers to how you would even deal with this.
No.
But obviously we're being left now with Cash having been shot and all the his the repercussions from that he's got and the rejection that he's feeling from Jasmine just before it happened. And we've not even got so much of a whisper from her. I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
It is not even a text to Irene. You know what I mean? It's just, it seems really, they have just completely changed her character overnight.
Mm-hmm. At least be true to what she was like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The woman's left the bay and had like a personality transplant.
I think she's having another breakdown. You know when Robbo died and she went and lived on that farm because she was losing the plot?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that she's doing that again, like regressing, because she's gone back there and she's now back in that place mentally, not just physically. That's the only thing that would make any sense to me, but I don't know, because she pushed everyone away then, didn't she? Pushed Irene away and everybody didn't want to talk to them, didn't want to see them.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And she has cited being around Robbo's family again has brought things up as the reason. So yeah, maybe she's suffering herself. Now I feel bad for kicking off.
But they haven't told us that, so that's just me going with my poetic license.
Reading between the lines.
I'm just trying to think of a reason why, because it doesn't make sense just to have one day she's absolutely, the nicest person ever. She does anything for anybody. She's a nurse, all of that, caring, compassionate, helping people. And the next day she's just like, oh, Cash got shot. Oh, well, never mind. I don't get that at all.
And we know she knows about it. It's all over the news. There's no excuse. You know what I mean?
Excuse. Yeah.
And the second question out of Cash's mouth is about what actually went on. Happened on the day, and he learns from Flick that he shot a man, killed Marty, and then he then reacts really strongly, doesn't he? I've written panicking down here, but it's not a panic. It's more of a trauma type response. Isn't it?
It's trauma. Yeah, definitely. Because he's a murderer, isn't he? That's what he's thinking in his head. He's not thinking about the circumstances that led up to that action. He's not thinking that this guy tried to kill him. This guy's not a good guy. If it had been the other way around, Cash had died and Marty was in hospital, Marty wouldn't be lying there worrying about the fact that he killed Cash, would he?
No, true. That's true.
It's all of that morality and, I'm a murderer, but I'm actually a nice person. So this is a really conflicting, time for me. I can't forgive myself, even though I was doing my job. And actually, it was in self-defense because this guy tried to shoot me.
Yeah.
But he can't reconcile that with the fact that he's committed a crime and he's took someone's life, can he?
No, and he does say, because he's insisting on seeing Rose, isn't he? To try and learn.
Yeah.
Because he's saying there's going to be an investigation. I've killed somebody. There's going to be an investigation. I'm going to have to do mandatory counselling. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to be, and I'm like, mate, you've just woke up off the like, that's just one step at a time. But that's just the way he's responding, and he needs to know. He's saying, isn't he? I don't know. Like I need answers. It doesn't make sense. What's got, and you just think, and I think this investigation and what happens now with Cash and his overcoming of what's happened to him.
Yeah.
I we were talking about, we were actually quite jovial about it, about how many shots there were,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I misheard it. But I think that's going to become very important to his recovery and the outcome of his investigation. Like Cash was shot first, so he just drew his weapon. Like I think the circumstance around the 3 shots, how it happened, who shot who first, is going to become more important than I initially thought.
I think that, I don't know, I could be wrong, but from the fact that Marty died almost immediately and Cash only shot him once, Marty must have shot Cash twice first, and then Cash managed to get a shot and kill him after he'd been shot. That's what I'm imagining, because Marty was dead immediately.
Yeah. So therefore, it's a stronger case for self-defense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for Cash, like if that, I think that's the kind of detailed information we probably need to end up learning about it, so that Cash can be at peace knowing that he did the right thing.
I don't think that will help him though. I don't think he wants to know whether it was self-defense or anything like that. I think he's just thinking, I'm a murderer. Whether it was in self-defense or not, he's still killed somebody, and he's asking questions to that doctor, like, I wonder if he had a family. He's thinking like,
and he's dead because of me, he said, didn't he?
Yeah. I don't think he's thinking, did I kill him because he was going to kill me? I think he's just thinking, I've took someone's life and I'm a murderer, and there's no excusing that. I don't know.
That scene where because Xander's sort of managed to get Rose up to the hospital.
Yes.
And he's so intense, it all blows up and escalates between him and Rose. And she's like, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to say that I hugged you and held you in my arms and I wasn't there? Like, what do you want from me? Screaming at him. And I thought, a great performance, by the way, by the actress. But I thought, like, what does he expect people to tell him at this early stage?
That's why I was confused. I said at the top of this episode, I was like, I've been really confused about this whole Cash and Rose thing. This whole scene didn't make any sense to me. And I didn't know whether it's because I'd missed something, because I was a bit distracted when it was on. But what was he expecting her to tell him? What does she think? Because he kept saying, you're not telling me something. And I was thinking, what is it? I can't think of anything.
I think at this stage we're to assume he didn't really know why they were there.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't know the ins and outs of the investigation into this bikie gang and why they were there. Her reasons for being there is linked to Tex and getting Tex back.
Oh, does he even remember Tex was there?
Not been mentioned, has it?
She's only mentioned this Marty guy, and he clearly doesn't remember him. She was like, I was following some guy called Marty, because he doesn't. Has he forgotten that it's anything to do with Tex at all? Is that the secret? Is that what we're wigging out about?
I think it's something to do with that, and then she's going to have to open up to him and say,
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then she's going to have to sort of face him and say, "This was what happened." Yeah.
Oh, okay, get it now.
Yeah, did you see in the trailer, like, there's this thing about breaking a rule, and she obviously takes the files to her.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's obviously going to turn into him everything she's got on Tex, I think. And
it's going to read the police report on what happened.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. I'm glad you told me that, because I literally couldn't think what it was, but it must be the fact that he's forgotten that it was Tex involved, and obviously because it's Tex, it's Rose's fault.
The thing is, he knows Tex is there because he was listening in the transit van.
Yeah, but has he forgotten that bit?
He's not mentioned it, and he's got amnesia. He's got traumatic amnesia, hasn't he, or whatever it is.
So he can't remember.
He doesn't know a thing, so she's gonna, and I think she's just shocked by it. And she's thinking quite insular, really. She's thinking about herself and her own guilt.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's not really thinking too much about his feelings at this stage. So that's how it's probably going to go. And And so Rose is sort of staying away now, and I think that's probably for the best. But he's doing this weird. He's got this bit of rapport going with Bree now, the doctor.
Yeah.
And we don't need to worry about Xander getting too involved now because Bree is.
Yeah.
You know, she's also a psychiatrist, so
Apparently. Yeah.
yeah. She's doing the questionnaire that all doctors do.
Oh.
How
Yeah.
many times have you thought about? Yeah. Ticking the box.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, that's all happening. So we're seeing a bit more of his rapport with Bree, and you know he's trying to walk up and get out and doesn't want to be. Call my sister. Call Rose. Like,
Yeah.
my
Just
God,
get in bed. Give him some sedatives. Somebody give him some sedatives.
Get the injection first.
Gas in there. Something. Anything. Knock this guy out. Like, I think I preferred him when he was in a coma.
I know this is. I don't mean this bad, but I don't think he does the sad very well either.
Oh, bless him. Yeah.
Also,
can I just say, also, we're still having this storyline, I guess, the hospital storyline where nobody gets any privacy, no pajamas or gowns, or he's just completely shirtless lying in the bed. Every male that goes to that hospital ends up basically naked.
I know, that's for our viewing pleasure.
It's so unbelievable. I'm just dying for the day that Palmer ends up in there. I don't want to see that.
I'd be mortified if I was in Australia and I had to go to the hospital and realise everyone had clothes on. This isn't right.
Get your pecs out. I find it really disturbing. I'm like, why have they not got hospital gowns? Why are they all half naked? It's just so bizarre. Sorry, had to note that again.
Know your audience. They know who's watching at the lunchtime. You know what I mean?
Well, you can tell by the adverts, can't you? On Channel 5.
Kids have gone for the nap. It's mummy time.
Definitely.
Yeah, but amongst all this, I have loved Irene's support of Ash, of Rose, of Xander, despite, you know, what's gone on. You know, her support and offering of support, especially when it came to Rose. She even went up and saw her in the apartment, didn't she?
Yeah,
and
that was nice.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of him, you know, if you need anything. And I just thought, you know, Irene, that's lovely.
Yeah,
really.
she is lovely. Oh.
You know, despite her allegiance to Jasmine.
Well, I think that might be wavering now that she's done her bunk.
Well, I don't blame her. Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah. Screw you, girlie.
Don't come abroad with me. So Theo and Kirby are rehearsing on their own again. Like the other two don't need to rehearse.
That's so good. They don't need to.
And so it's been a few days since they've been together. So, you know, Theo's been hard working at TAFE. And so he goes over and Kirby offers him wine in a mug, which I thought was amazing. I like the week. Do you want a glass of wine? It's in a coffee mug.
That's what you get around my house.
I'd say if the dishwasher's not been on. You know, there's no gigs, and she tells him there's no gigs because Remy got scammed. This Theo learns all about the van saga that's gone on, and they're just they're like undressing each other with their eyes the whole episode. You know, like flirty banter the whole way through, and you just think it's gonna happen.
But it's awkward as well, though, isn't it? It's like you almost feel uncomfortable watching it because they're trying to be friends and they're trying to not give in to how they feel, aren't they? And it gets to a point where they both have to acknowledge the fact that it's weird, don't they?
Yeah. And
like, is this weird? Yes, it is.
It's even affecting the songwriting. They're just you know, they've hit a block.
Yeah.
All they can think about is doing it.
Yeah.
And I was just a bit like, rolling my eyes, like rule number one's going to get broken imminently. It wasn't. To their, you know, to their credit, it wasn't.
Well, if Eden hadn't come home, would it have been?
Yeah, it's
She
true.
walked in, didn't she, and interrupted them because she was holding his hand when she walked in, and they jumped apart like 50 feet, didn't they, when she opened the door?
Eyes were a lock in as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, news gets back to Justin that, the tour's off and Justin jumps into, you know, a plan to buy them a van with his and Leah's savings.
He's got a death wish, hasn't he?
You're just like, oh my God.
Oh, of all the people that you would take money from, it's not Leah, is it? Come on.
No. And he misrepresented it because he didn't sort of steal the money. He said, I'm gonna do some marketing
Yeah.
with the business. And she said, that's a really good idea, invest a bit in. I'm happy with that, no worries. He misrepresented what he was doing with the money.
He did.
And then tried to pass it off as marketing because he's now lyric sponsored by Summer Bay Hot. Which I'm
dear.
imagine if Bob was around, I'm sure he'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
So he buys this van with his and Leah's savings. Leah's onto it from the get-go, and she's like, something's weird. She's confiding in Irene all day, and Irene's like, maybe he's just be doing something nice, girl,
Yeah.
and you're trying to calm her down. But she knows a
Yeah.
woman's intuition is never wrong, so they say, so they tell me. And she finds out he's bought this van via Theo, who's bouncing off the roof because the tour is back on.
Yeah.
And she confronts him and has a right old go at him. And I thought, yes, he deserves this. I've seen a bit of conversation online about, it's that old Leah thing, isn't it? It's like Marmite, isn't it, with Leah?
Yeah.
With
Yes.
the reaction. But I've got to tell you, I think I'd react the same as Leah. I think I'd be like, what the flaming are you doing? She knew, she kept saying, didn't she, this isn't just about the band.
Yeah.
Like, we need to talk about what this is all really about. She said it a couple of times throughout the argument as the day ensued, when they saw each other and they're having to go at each other and storming out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, she's right. She knows that he's in like midlife crisis mode, like trying to do anything. He's too a bit overzealous with this band larky,
Yeah.
Cottons on quite quick, so she knows she just needs him to say it. And I was with her, Sophie. Don't know about you. I was with her. I thought that's exactly how I'd react. I'd be furious.
No, I'm Team Justin all the way.
Oh, for God's sake.
Team Justin. I'd have done the same as Justin. I think if I had the opportunity to help somebody, make it big in a band, and I think it's the same thing as him. It's something that he's always wanted to do. He couldn't do it because he was in witness protection because his family were killed by a drug syndicate. like everybody's is. It's normal upbringing. But he didn't have the same opportunities as Theo's got because of that, because he was in witness protection, and those pipe dreams are gone now. He's an older chap.
He explains that to her. She is empathetic about that, isn't she? And she's like, okay, that's let's see how it goes then. It was the way about it that I'm mad at. No,
I'm Team Justin. I'm sorry. I'm too sore, I guess. I can remember too frequently and too recently what she did to Theo when she rang TAFE and told them about, when she got Justin to ring TAFE and tell them about Theo cheating and without speaking to Theo. And I'm like, no, this makes up for that for Theo. That was a horrible thing to do. He's been knocked around by your brother for years, and then he starts to get on the straight and narrow, and you try to take that off him by dob him in for cheating without even talking to him. I think this is karma for Leah. I'm sorry. I think it's karma, and I think it's great. And I'm Team Justin. Do it, Justin. Get 2 vans. Get 2 vans.
Do you not think he could have just explained all that to Leah and then said, so can we buy them a van? And
no, she'd have said no.
Do you think?
Yes. I'm Team Justin on this one, and I will not be talked out of it.
No. Well, I'm Leah, I think. And I agree that I don't get me wrong. I think it's a nice thing to do, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And now you put it like that, it's the least they could do. Because I hadn't considered that. So yeah, you're right. But and I agree she had to accept it because it's done.
Yeah,
Like
it's too
nothing else
late.
yeah, there's nothing else she can do. But I do think that her reaction wasn't unfounded, wasn't over the top. I think her
Yeah,
reaction was right because at the end of the day, it's her money as well, and she's a right to know where it's going.
yeah, yeah. I can see it, but I'm still glad. I'm still really glad. Yes, well done,
And
Justin.
anything and Sophie's like, do it.
Do it. I want to live. I'm living through Justin, who's living through Theo. I'm getting my. I'm like, yes, that's what I would do, Justin. So I'm living vicariously through Justin, who's living through Theo, and trying to, yeah. Between the three of us, we'll get the dream.
It's a little bit sad, isn't it? He's had to,
No.
no, I mean, like, it's a little bit, it's a sad reminder of what Justin and his family have had to
Yes.
sacrifice. And actually, I thought, oh, you poor thing.
I
You
feel
know.
for him. I mean, when you think about what his character's gone through in his life, and how normal he is,
Yeah,
and nice, and not at all deranged or unhinged or horrible or cold or anything like that. He's lovely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. He's a decent bloke considering what he
Yeah,
experienced in life, and as was Tori, to be fair.
yeah. The whole family were,
Yeah,
considering that it's such a dark storyline. You know, their parents were killed by a drug syndicate. They have to go into witness protection. They were almost murdered by them again
I mean,
when
Brody's an addict.
yeah. Well, okay, and a cheat and all that. Yeah, okay. Well, forget Brody, but Mason's lovely, and Tori's lovely, and Justin's just lovely. So, I just think, go, Justin, go.
Yeah, so you can't blame him for thinking, you know what, Theo can have the life I never had, and that's what
Yeah,
that's what a parent or a guardian does, isn't it?
exactly. Yeah,
You always want your children to have better than you had. So,
exactly.
yeah, I get it. But I still would have reacted the same as Leia. I'd have been, you what?
Uh-oh. Well, I've got something to tell you.
Oh,
Well, I've got this marketing idea for the podcast.
oh bloody hell!
So I took the subscriber money, and I've bought a van. I'm sorry.
What?
It's all right. It's only a model van because you only had £1.20. But
Come here, you right? Listen, you're gonna push it up and down the M6.
Can you imagine? Goes the news. Oh, dear.
Funny. Rue's adverts, we'll briefly touch on this because it's sort of like a B storyline, isn't it? Bubbling away in the background. So not a lot to report, but she said that the university agreed to run her advert, and then I immediately thought, I stopped eating my vanilla slice. And I thought, okay, we're going to be tutoring older people. I knew right away, we weren't going to be having school. Because we were thinking school. I thought she's gone. I didn't quite expect.
When you say old, I was going to say, did you think not school age? Did you think sort of 20?
University, yeah.
20,
so university age. So we're not going to see the school or the link to the school or the uni like we were talking about previously.
Yeah.
And just at that point, the university was taking the ad. I thought, well, we're going to have a uni student. However, we had a geriatric student.
I think she's my age, Rude.
I don't know what age she is. But it was a mature student, wasn't it? An adult.
You're so rude. A geriatric, love it. Poor woman's only 40. Oh dear.
Only having a laugh if you're listening. Oh, good.
Oh dear.
And oh, bless her, she, later in life, she decided that she wants to change her career, and she, she's reskilling as a nurse. What did she say?
I think that's what she said. Yeah, nursing.
And to be fair, Marilyn made the wrong assumption as well.
Yes, she did. That was embarrassing. And then she's like, "I'll just go make the coffees." And Rue was like, "Yes, that'd be good." Go
Yeah,
away. Go away, Marilyn.
You can't go away quick enough.
Foot in mouth. Oh dear.
And she seemed nice. I don't think we'll see much of her, but this is more about Rue, isn't it? Getting into the swing and the Diana girls looking on like, oh, isn't it nice to see Rue back in a game again? Which is exactly what Sophie and Si was saying on Coast on News podcast
It
like
is.
a year ago.
Yeah.
So let's hope this goes and flourishes in a good way. I'd like to see it expand to some sort of school age introduction. I'm sure many of us would. So
Yeah.
I'm still looking out for that. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's just giving her that confidence, isn't it? Because at the end of session 1, she already said, "This has given me so much, and I nearly quit until you turned it around." So I was like, "Wow, that's a good session, isn't it?" It's like
Who'd have thought referring your analysis back to your title would just blow you mind?
Make sure your conclusion answers the question.
Some of us uni students used to forget many a time.
Duh. Of course.
See
So,
me. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
she seems to get a lot from it. So she's good at what she does. And I think it'd be nice for Rue to have something to focus on, move on with her life after this
Yeah.
drama the last year of the, and all the heartache that her parents put her through. So.
Yeah.
Right, that's the end of the storylines this week, Sophie.
Wow.
It's happening. It's going on. It's hotting up. All right. Don't forget, you can vote for your favourite storyline of 2022 on our awards vote ceremony. Votes thing is open. Find it on the Twitter, as Sophie so eloquently put at the beginning of the episode, or in our announcement episode. The link is in the description as well. So just find that on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Or your favourite, wherever. Would you like your first look, Sophie?
Yes, this is the bit that I want to know.
Let's get ahead. Right.
Spoilers.
Episode 7,862.
Ooh, 7862. Nice number.
Well, will it be a nice episode? Let's see. Rose punches away her guilt.
Oh.
She done the old back down the gym. Can I
Maybe.
say how gorgeous was tonight's 5-star episode in terms of scenery, with Rose at the beach, staring.
Oh, yes.
And the way it was shot, and they had all these aperture shots at the beach, and the weather and the lighting. I just thought tonight's episode looked so good.
It did. I forgot to tell you this. When you're
What?
talking about the shots from outside, we talked about how sometimes they're walking down the beach and they don't look as warm as they should be. They're looking a bit cold, and it's looking a bit. I was watching. I know you already know I've watched this, but there was an Insta Live the other day on Ethan Brown's Instagram. The guy that plays Tane, and he was being interviewed by somebody, and they were talking about the shots on the beach and how difficult it is to shoot them, and how they have to make it, because it's called Summer Bay. They have to make it look like it's summer all year round, even when it's their winter and all that sort of stuff. And he was talking about how sometimes when they've shot a scene on the beach and it's been a very dull and dark and miserable day, they actually make it look brighter. They put loads of filters on it to make it look like it's a nice day. So actually what we're seeing isn't always what was actually there, the weather on the day.
Just whap up that brightness afterwards.
Yeah, they do. Because he said he's watched back some scenes where he was like, that was a really grey, overcast, horrible day. They've had a lot of rain this year, apparently, in Sydney and around that area. And he said on film, they've made it look like it was a nice, warm, sunny day. So that was interesting.
There's a lot of post-production goes into it, isn't there? Me and you've discussed a lot about the dubbing, you know.
On the beach when it's windy. I can't look at it now. Their mouths are like blah, 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 blah.
It ruins it, doesn't it?
It does.
Sometimes I'm like, I hear a little echo on that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it does ruin it for you, sorry. But yeah, I think, and I just don't think a lot of other soaps go into this much effort because they don't film on location as often.
Well, you don't want to see Weatherfield from above, do you? That's not being funny. Well, you don't really want to see, shots of the Weatherfield tram station. I don't know.
but that's like a purpose-built set, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, set. Whereas Summer Bay is a real-life town. So they're out in that all the time, open to all the elements of the sea. Yeah. Like, I just think the way they make this programme, it just needs so much more praise,
Yeah, definitely.
Because, yes, every soap, it's hard work. Everyone who's worked on them always say, don't they, interviews, like, oh my gosh, it's grueling.
Yeah.
Everyone says no matter what soap they work on. But a lot goes into making this look glossy and look good, afterwards, I think.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Our soaps, we watch EastEnders as well, as and sometimes if we watch Home and Away and then put EastEnders on afterwards, like
night and day.
Yeah, literally, it's really dark and no one's smiling, and we have the uplifting music and like the two completely different things. And I think it's just interesting to talk about the different styles of the same genre, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that was a segue and a half.
Sorry, it was my fault.
Might have to go back and have a watch for that Instagram live because it sounds interesting. Because you've sent me a few other things from it as well, haven't you?
I've got some snippets recorded, so I can pass you on some. Yeah.
I'll share them on our.
Oh yeah, I can share them on Twitter. Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff because they also, sorry to keep banging on about it, but they also talk about how many scenes they shoot in a day. When you're talking about just then about how grueling the schedule is. And he was saying on a really busy day, he can shoot 12 scenes in a day. Wow. I mean, that's mad, isn't it? And he might not be in all of them. It might be like him in the first 4 and then rest of the characters. But they film 12 in a day.
And that's in 2 locations at the same time, isn't it? There's a studio base and then there's a location base, isn't there, out in Summer Bay?
Yes.
Because I've seen interviews with other people about this. Was it in Lynn's book as well, actually?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They filmed the studio a week behind what they film on location. Yes. So you'll go to Palm Beach and be filming stuff that you won't be talking about. You might go and then walk into the diner, but then you won't film the inside the diner bit till like 7 days later when you're in the
And they said that's really discombobulating because you filmed one bit and you can't remember what you filmed now, but now you're filming the second part of it, and it's like that. It's meant to look like it's instant, but it's not. It might be a week ago. So really interesting.
It is interesting. I think Lynn, she jokes about it in the book. She's like, "You're talking about a baby you've not delivered yet," and things. It must be hard to get into the zone.
Yeah. Definitely.
You've really got to know your stuff. Filming 12 scenes a day, you've got to know. You don't want to be the one who's fluffing the whole thing. I bet it has a right domino if it goes over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right, Tane has an unlikely ally in Dean.
Ooh.
What that's all about.
Well, Dean was sniffing around before, wasn't he? Because he knew that something was going down with the bikies.
Yeah.
And then he got all the information out of Flick when she got arrested, didn't he? And then he's like, oh, now I get what's going on. But he knew before that because he was asking Nick, wasn't he, when he split up with Bella? He was going, why have you split up with Bella? What's going on? What's all these bikies about?
Yeah. Didn't he even call Nugget? Did he tell
Yes,
them that?
he did.
He can about these bikes.
He did. Yeah, but that's after Flick told him,
Mm.
wasn't it? I think. So he was trying to help them. He was trying to help Tane. Remember, he went round there and said to Tane, or was it Neek? I can't remember which one it was. He said, "Look, if you're in trouble, if you need help, I'm here." It was Neek, and then Neek said, "My family don't need your help."
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And that was before Dean actually knew what was going on.
Mm. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that one, Sophie.
Mm.
Can Felicity be the stronger sibling? Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Don't need to wait.
Has to be.
Don't need to wait.
Just get on with it.
Justin solves lyrics transport problems.
We know that, don't we? Do we not know that?
Yeah, I'm just checking I'm reading the right day here now.
Unless the van arrives, because he's only ordered it so far, hasn't he?
That's true. Theo and Kirby give in to temptation.
Oh, we saw that coming.
Could Tane lose the gym? We would ask
Mm.
the same question. And Nico chases love?
Ooh. Ooh.
Bella, maybe? Now the back.
Oh, calling back.
I'm down, yeah. Like,
Mm.
I didn't mean it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Please don't block me. I don't know.
Unblock me.
Mute. Dean shows Nico the harsh truth. Do you think this is something to do with the original robbery?
I don't know.
Because Dean knew Ari from prison.
Oh yeah.
Do we think Dean shows Nico the harsh? I'm reading too much into it, maybe.
Well, is it about Bella? It could be about Bella, or it could be about Ari, couldn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he's trying to reach out to Bella, oh yeah, that'll be it. If he's trying to reach out to Bella.
Bella's
And then-
got married. Bella's married Emmett in New York, and
Yeah.
there's photos on Instagram.
Yeah. Leave her alone. She's happy.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just catastrophizing.
A guilty Ziggy can't avoid Remy.
Guilty?
A guilty Ziggy cannot avoid Remy.
Ooh, something we don't
Theo-
know.
I know Theo longs to break the band rules.
Keep it in your pants, boy. Sorry.
He's another one that needs to wear a shirt more often. He used to.
He's not even in the hospital.
I know. But at the beginning, he was wearing clothes, and then suddenly he's wearing less and less.
Yeah.
Eden and John attempt neighbourly harmony.
Aww.
Oh,
I'm
over
gonna
the-
love that.
I'm really liking Eden. She's, for me, she's the star of the band.
She's awesome.
Dean revives the spark with Ziggy, and Rue takes on another new student. There we go.
Snowballing.
That's your week ahead. She's busy, is Rue there. Should we put bets on the age range of the new student?
Not geriatric this time. Let's go with half the age of the current one. 20.
Is she 40 or are you just sort of surmising?
I think she looked about 40 and she had a daughter, so...
I think she's older than that.
Really? Oh, maybe I need my eyes tested.
You need to change your TV settings, you do.
Oh, maybe.
You're in HD. In HD, she looks about 62. Really good, this is awful.
I hope she's not listening.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time with another instalment of Coastal News Home and Away podcast. In the meantime, catch up with us online, Coastal News Pod, on Twitter and Instagram. And do subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. If you're on Apple Podcasts, do give us a rating. I'd like to hear your feedback. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.